Okay guys, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to teach you how to attack properly in a clan war. I said properly, but improve your attack in the clan war. We're in a war at the minute. It is not going well. We have 5 wins, but we have 7 losses, which is quite bad. I have looked through a couple of them and I know some of them are just up to the person to have it a deck that counters the deck someone in my clan is using, but other times there is a lot of misplays. Um, but I'm gonna show you my word every play to show how I dealt with my opponent's deck, and I'll tell you why I did what I did. Okay, so right now I'm cycling stuff because I want to keep my P.E.K.K.A until the Royal Giant gets to the bridge, because he's not expecting it yet, which means he has no way of countering it when I do this. And I'm actually saving elixir here to push. I don't need to take it to Mega Minion. The Mega Minion is going to die to my tower. The P.E.K.K.A and Dark Knight are going to deal with that quite easily. And the Dark Knight, Dark Prince is going to make easy work of that. And I'm keeping my arrows here. I planted the furnace so that I could keep my arrows. Just keep that out of the way. Right. I planted my furnace. Placed my furnace to take out the minion horde so I could save my arrows, because I didn't know whether or not he had a more threatening thing I would have needed my arrows for. But unfortunately, or fortunately in my case, there isn't. That doesn't matter. I'm just going to put some bridge pressure with my princess because the fire spirits were coming. So if he had put down something cheap and squishy, the fire spirits would have taken it out, giving me more free damage and more elixir lead on this guy. See, now he's having to counter the fire spirits because his tower is so low. Couple of fire spirits and it's gone. Fair play to him. It was a nice poison spell. Good value. Finishes the furnace off. Gets rid of the bomber. Now I'm trying to keep him off the left lane because I know I can take that in an easy push. So I'm trying to split the push up. So I take minions to counter his Goblin Gang. Easy. He's Royal Ghost, so I'm going to counter with Dark Prince. And the reason I'm countering with Dark Prince, I could use my P.E.K.K.A, but I need to save my P.E.K.K.A. I'm only going to use my P.E.K.K.A for when he uses his Royal Giant, unless I have a big push started, and I put the P.E.K.K.A in front to tank. Notice how I keep it there for the Royal Giant, similarly to arrows with the minion horde. I'm not wasting my arrows on some silly amount of damage, like the Goblin Gang per se. Pretty sure the Dark Knight gets a hit, or Dark Prince gets hit. Yeah, 2 hits actually. But see, I'm cycling through. I think I place Wizard. Yeah. We land the Royal Giant, get closer before I inevitably use my P.E.K.K.A to give him less time to counter it. See his. Oh, pause a wee second. See there? But if I had placed that P.E.K.K.A 3, 4, 5 seconds earlier, that Mega Minion would have chunked it for a lot more damage. And I would not have been able to go down this lane now and do as much damage as it's going to do. It's not going to do too much, but it's. Oh, sorry, it's going to take the tower. That's good. Notice how I leave the Royal Ghost. I know it's not going to do much. I place the Furnace. Even though this game is already basically, like, he has 13 seconds, both my towers over 2500 health, he has no chance. I'm placing the Furnace. If he did have a chance, that Furnace would have been smart because he will push with his Royal Giant. And that'll obviously tank the shots from the Royal Giant and give me time to put down a troop to counter his Royal Giant. And obviously, because it's the war day, I really want to push and try and get the 2 crowns for the clan. But unfortunately, we just come a few seconds short. One more second, and I would have had that 2 crown. Okay. Right. Now I'll move on to my deck. My deck was P.E.K.K.A, Furnace, Minions, Bomber, Arrows, Princess, Wizard, Dark Prince. Prince, not Knight. He's not Batman. So, like I was saying, look, we didn't have the best selection. You could make an alright giant deck and an alright minor deck, but there wasn't the greatest amount of selection here for decks. And I would suggest when you're doing your war attack on your war day, try and have a reasonably defensive deck. Like you notice I have a building, I have a really high DPS troop in the P.E.K.K.A. I have multiple splash and I also have flying troop and the spell. They're kind of like you need all of them. There's very little decks. Obviously, like you'll have cycle decks. Oh, cycle decks that won't use a big troop. Well, someone will use a mini P.E.K.K.A or a Valkyrie or a Musketeer or something that does a good amount of damage. But on your war day, you'll want something with that big DPS to counter whatever, because a lot of the time, I'd say 80% of the time, 90% of the time, it is a P.E.K.K.A, a Golem, Lava Hound, or Giant. It's one of them, Mega Knight, it's one of them big, chunky troops that you're going to have to counter with a lot of damage. So you'll always want troops that can dish out the damage, like the P.E.K.K.A, like the Bomber, like the Minions, like the Wizard. And then you have stuff like the Princess to get rid of Princess, Bomber, Wizard, and Dark Prince. Got quite lucky with the splash. Sometimes we've even been a bit starved for splash damage in our war attacks. But you really want that splash because a lot of people tend to run quite splash. What's the word? What am I trying to say? Splash weak. No, they're weak to splash. In other words, stuff like big pushes like a Dark Prince. If you, let's say, a pack is taking all the shots, you place a Dark Prince or a Bomber at the back to counter whatever is behind their tank. They'll have that gone really quick because the area of effect and all their splash damage will be quite high, and as is the damage. Trying to think. I'm gonna throw a giant deck together here. Let's see. Um, this maybe would be another option. I'm trying to think. I suppose you could swap up the Dark Prince for an Executioner or an Ewiz or something along them lines. But as long as you have a tank, a building, you don't even have to have a tank. If you're playing if you have enough good troops for a minor deck or a Hog Rider deck or a Balloon Lumberjack, even something fast, high DPS, go for it. But in my opinion, you always want a tanky troop. Maybe not giant, but because obviously the P.E.K.K.As, mini P.E.K.K.As, Mega Knights, all them ones they use can hit the giant quite hard. But the good few troops that if they're left behind, they can do a lot of damage. Are quick to get rid of any buildings that they have, and then the barbarian barrels to get rid of stuff like skeleton armies, goblin barrels, all that sort of stuff. Uh, yeah, we got a bit shafted with the diversity, I think, of the cards. But anyway, we'll get into a wee one, and we'll see how not to attack. Let's see who we'll pick here. Um, we'll watch Jake. Oh, interesting. He's P.E.K.K.A on chant. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure Jake's one of the ones in our clan that will have most of his cards level 11 or around that area. So this will be quite fair. A lot of our clan members don't have their cards at level 11, so they're at a disadvantage when it comes to these wars. Now I'll be playing the Executioner behind. Interesting. Well played, defending the Goblin Barrel. Interesting. That was a bit of a terrible fireball from the opponent there, but that bomber did a lot of work. No. See, that was good opening by Jake. He's identified some of the cards his opponent's using. He countered it quite well, and he got some chip damage on the tower. Well played. Oh, could have been a wee bit quicker with the Dark Prince. See, I wouldn't be committing to a push that leaves you on little elixir that early, just because he hasn't quite identified yet what that person has, what the enemy has to counter. In this case, it's Sangazaba. So as you see, he countered quite easily the Dark Prince, the Inferno Dragon. Interesting, he just goes to the plane miner to get a bit of chip damage. Fair enough. No, he has to get rid of this. Okay, not bad. Probably could have used the E-Wiz on that though. Although I suppose pretty sure he had the Executioner already done. Yes, well, he did use the Earthquake, but he wouldn't have to, because them Fire Spirits are level 10, so they're not even going to hit his tower unless they're backed up with something else. Now I'm interested to see how he loses this. Oh, that's why. Okay. You should not put a giant down by itself. It needs troops behind it. It will not survive getting to the tower, as you just seen, especially if they have a building. Okay. He seems to be getting spammed with. He seems to be getting spammed with Goblin Barrel and Wall Breakers, which is kind of something I talked about earlier on in the video, where I said you want a lot of splash because you can get screwed over by people who carry troops, high squishy troops. I'm trying to think here. Stuff like Goblin Gang and archers and barbs, stuff that just gets shredded by splash damage. Zappies. Zappies? Is that what they're called? They're called zappies, aren't they? Zappies, stuff like that. Skarmy, anything squishy that'll get wrecked by a bit of splash damage. Okay, it's not the worst jam push on the side, but that fireball will take most of it out. Nice Earthquake though to get rid of the furnace. And a nice miner. They're going to see the chance too slow. And now it's going to deal with the Wall Breakers and then the Goblin Barrel. If you had a Barbarian Barrel in this deck, the Goblin Barrel wouldn't be anywhere near as much of a problem. But it's very even. Jake actually played this quite well. He's just struggling a bit with the Wall Breakers and with. Oh. Oh, he cuts that very close. The enemy isn't defending all too well, but he's pretty good at his attacks. Yep. Oh no 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 no. Jake. You do not want to put a packet down. He should know that he has Wall Breakers and a Goblin Barrel and Fireball, and he's going to use one of them three to try and get rid of his target. So he knows he's only one Earthquake away from losing. So he's going to push with them cards. He should not have put that packet down. I know there was a Dark Prince, but he maybe could have done Dark Prince for the Goblin Barrel, and then E-Wiz onto the Dark Prince and Wall Breakers to stop them, and that maybe would have saved this tower. Perhaps. I mean, I know obviously he's in the heat of the moment and all, but he should know that that's the only way he's damaged his tower this game is Goblin Barrels and Wall Breakers. And to be fair, the packet wouldn't do much against this deck, but he really. That's what you need to think about what your opponent has, and you need to predict what they're going to play. So this is it, isn't it? Yeah, Goblin Barrel get a good swing. That's it. Now, of course, if he had his arrows, a Barbarian Barrel, that would have been easy enough to defend. You just need a troop, and you time the arrows to get the Goblin Barrel and the Wall Breakers. Unfortunately, well, did he have arrows? I don't think he did. No, and that was the problem. You need Earthquake if that person had a minion. I know he had Executioner, but if that person had a minion horde, baby dragon, minion horde, minions, bots, any sort of thing like that, he wasn't really in a position to um defend or offensively defend. Like if they defend with either of them troops, he doesn't really have a way of getting rid of them, which is kind of what you want. Like that's why in my deck I would have change it to that. I would have the package. 1 second. I will have the arrows. I have the bomber. I have the print. Like all this can get rid of anything he puts down to try and counter the P.E.K.K.A. That's their job, is to counter his P.E.K.K.A. counter. For example, hang on, we'll watch mine one more time, just to see what they used to counter my P.E.K.K.A. I'm pretty sure at one point it's Goblin Gun. Yeah, it's here's Goblin Gun. Fair play, but I know I had arrows, but he didn't know I had arrows. I personally, if I was in his situation, would have dropped the minion horde on the heal spirit, because by the time the arrows came out, I'm pretty sure the pack would have been dead. But distracted for just 1 second while the minion horde absolutely destroys my pack and Dark Prince with their high DPS while they're distracted by the heal spirit, and that's the entire push gone. But because he didn't do that, even he placed them afterwards, I got 2000 damage off his tower easy, because I backed my pack up with something that would counter a counter to my P.E.K.K.A. And that's really what you have to think about when you're making pushes. You think, how is this person going to counter my troops, and how can I counter their counter? And obviously, if you really want to get tactical, you could try counter their counter to your counter to their counter to your push. I know it sounds ridiculous, but hopefully that maybe gives you some insight on how to do better war attacks. Um, Hopefully, I'd recommend this video to some of my clanmates to come watch, so that they can identify what their problems are and hopefully fix them. But we'll have to see here. So, snapshot. Right, that'll be the end of the video. I will see you guys in the next one for maybe another similar video. Bye.